As a six-figure print-on-demand Etsy seller, I often get asked, Luna, how do you come up with top-selling designs? My bread and butter, first and foremost, is print-on-demand jewelry. So in this video, I'm going to share the exact strategies that I use in order to find inspiration, winning niches, and most importantly, put together designs that I know will attract my buyers and become top sellers. And no, I'm not going to use the method that you might think. I've actually been playing around with a complete new website to create my designs, which allows for a lot more flexibility when it comes to editing fonts, having access to a vast library of design templates, and more. So without further ado, let's dive in. And by the way, if you don't already, make sure to subscribe as I share with you guys the latest in print-on-demand, Etsy, digital marketing, e-commerce tips on a weekly basis. The website that we're going to use today to create our print-on-demand design mockups is KITTL. I've been loving this website because there's a vast library of templates that I can leverage. The fonts are highly sophisticated. I can get a sense of what they might look like on my design, and it's really easy for me to edit. All of these designs can be used for commercial use if you have the subscription, but you can have access to KITTL completely free. Now, I'm going to show you specifically how I use it to create message card for Shine On, which is a print-on-demand jewelry supplier, and you can use the exact same format for any other print-on-demand jewelry supplier. And as you can see, this is a great tool that enables you to also create t-shirts in just a matter of minutes. So without further ado, let's get started. We're gonna go under my projects. And this is one of the designs that I created. I'm showing you as well what it looks like with Shine On. And so we're going to reverse engineer first and foremost how I came up with this idea, how I came up with this design, and how you can recreate it for yourself on KITTL so you can have top selling designs over and over again. So first things first, I personally love using a tool like Insight Factory to research potential niches and have an understanding of what customers are actively buying on Etsy. First thing I'm going to do is simply look at some of the Etsy trends. And by the way, I never look simply at the jewelry category because this is what I sell. This is my bread and butter. I will also look at some other trends to see if I get inspired. So in this case, I'm interested in getting a sense of some of the t-shirts that are perhaps going viral. Obviously, St. Patrick's Day is just around the corner, but I feel like St. Patrick's Day doesn't give me enough of a window to really be profitable, and it doesn't really apply for the jewelry niche either. So I'm going to do some research, poke around and see what I find. Now I found a niche that has a lot of potential: Christian sweatshirt. So as I see, a lot of these different sweatshirts are getting a pretty decent amount of sales. This is a great evergreen niche, and I know that there's potential for me to create jewelry within that specific niche. And also Shine On has multiple crosses that you can leverage along with a faith necklace as well. So this is absolutely what I've been looking for. Now that I have more insights about the specific niche that I want to go after, I'm simply going to go on Etsy and do a quick search for Christian necklaces to get a sense of what are some of the best sellers out there. And I love that I see a couple of necklaces with message cards. This is where I'm going to pull my inspiration from. This necklace with a message card is a bestseller. If you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can move mountains and nothing will be impossible for you. I absolutely love that. I know that I can create something even stronger because there's not enough of an emotional pool, and I feel it's a little impersonal, so I can find ways to make my listing even stronger. Now I'm going to continue poking around and see what else I find. And this is great. There's just a lot of different options by either including Bible verses. There's the faith necklace as well. There's a lot of these little mountains with the mustard seed. So there's plenty of inspiration here. All you have to do really is look at what is currently available in the marketplace and find ways to differentiate yourself. Let's create a brand new design using the same concept, which is around the Christian niche. So first things first, you're going to create a brand new project. And you want to make sure that you have a square ratio. So you can either do 1000 by 1000. I like to do 1200 by 1200 in order to have a little bit more space. I like to also have the grids available. For any of those settings, you can have the show grid right here. It's under your settings, and I like it because it helps me guide my design. Now we're going to add the headline first. We're going to go under text. And as you can see, there's a lot of different templates that I can use. So I like this template. This is actually what I used in the other design. I really like the font. And so what you can do is actually ungroup the font. So by right-clicking, I can simply ungroup the font. So then I'm going to pick what I like, and I'm going to go ahead and delete this. And I'm going to pick these two items. And then I need to add a paragraph, and here are some of the font options that I can use. I'm going to use this one. And so I have the template that I will be using for my design. What I have to do is add additional components for it to speak a little bit more to the demographic, as this is obviously a little bland right now. So the first thing we're going to do is add some elements, and I'm going to put mountain and see what comes up. I did a quick search. This is the one I used earlier, so we can use that again. I retouched it a little bit. First and foremost, you can easily change the size here, and then you can also change the color. And I also changed the opacity, which you can do here. And the reason I did that is because I want to make sure that even though we have the design elements, it's not taking over, which is the most important part, which is the text. Here we go. A feature that I really love is the ability to change the shape of how the fonts are. So in this case, it's custom, so I can have it do multiple things. I want to create kind of this like undulation feel. And now I feel like it's still a little stale, so I'm going to play around with the colors. Simply, you do that by changing the background color. From my personal experience, message cards that have a darker background over a white font tend to perform better than some of these neutral tone cards. And this is a great way as well to differentiate yourself from some of the sellers that we saw earlier who simply had a white card with a message. So this is my way of making sure that I'm capturing the eyes of my customers and they're drawn to my message card. So I'm not in love with a lot of these different colors, but I like how I'm able to simply play around, try different colors and see what works for me. So I like this gray a little bit more. Now the next thing I'm going to do is go back, click on the fonts, and I'm going to change simply the color of the text and make it white. So I'm going to change all of it. This is going to be white. This is going to be white as well. And then I'm going to play around as well to see whether or not I want to make this. Oops, what did I do? If I want to make the design white, well, let's see. There we go. I'm going to play around and see if I like it in white or if I like it darker. I actually like it darker, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the opacity even greater so you can see it, but it's not quite there. And then I need to change as well the paragraph and go ahead and make it white. A lot of the settings that you will be using when you're editing the text or the illustration is right here on the right hand side. And for any new elements that you want to use, you can essentially, here's the text, here are the elements, and you also have the ability to upload PNGs or SVG files, which are files that have a transparent background. You can also include photography. So really the sky's the limit. And plus what I love about KITTL is that they have an AI section, which enables you to create AI art. You can play around with this as well. Now what I want to do is include the paragraph. So we can finish this design and go ahead and upload it to Shine On. So I included here the paragraph, but what I want to do is actually this last line. I want to use a different font for that last line, simply so it's a little bit more legible and it really pops and grabs the attention of the customer. But I can try as many different fonts as I want and I get to see what it looks like. Okay, so then all I have to do is simply go ahead, take this design and download it. I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna download it as a PNG, and then I'm gonna show you how to go ahead and upload it to ShineOn. Now we're gonna go inside ShineOn. This is my mockup store. We're gonna go to create new. We're gonna click here. And we're gonna use this necklace simply because I find it really relevant. We're gonna select the file that we just downloaded from KITTL, and then we're gonna go ahead and upload it. Now, I'm not personally a huge fan as to how this is looking, so I'm gonna create even more contrast here. The color that I used just doesn't have enough contrast. And then I might also change the font here around, just make it a little bigger so it's even more legible, and then bring this down a little bit as well. So everything looks great, but I'm gonna make a couple more tweaks. So this has more contrast and it's easier for our customers to be able to see the message. So let's go back. And what I'm gonna do first is change the background color and simply make it a little darker. I'm gonna go for something that is a navy blue, but with more black undertone. So something like that already looks a little better. There's more contrast. It's easier to read. And then I actually want to go ahead and make this font a little bigger as well. So we're going to make this 120. And the reason I'm doing this is because a lot of the different necklaces that I saw had the same concept of moving mountain. Now I did change the message quite a bit, simply because I wanted it to be more personalized. Now, this doesn't look as good anymore, so I'm gonna have to play around again with seeing what color. Perhaps I should just make it simply white. Yeah, the white looks much better. Let's see. Yeah, amp up the contrast a little bit. There we go. And then as far as the text is concerned, I'm gonna actually make this just a little tighter. There we go. So I can have more space. And then I do want to keep this on the bolder side. And then we're going to bring this down altogether. Okay, so now this should be ready to go ahead and upload now that I've made these few edits, which is going to help the design feel just a little bit more contrasty so customers can actually read it. So we're going to go ahead and download. Now I'm going ahead and uploading this new design. Let's see how it looks now. Now this is perfect. It looks much better. We can read this easily, and I'm gonna go ahead and publish this to Etsy. Now, as a rule of thumb, when you are creating designs, you want to look at all the different categories, get a sense of what kind of designs are trending, whether it's t-shirts or Canva art or mugs, and grab all this different inspiration to inform how you're going to create your message card if you're selling jewelry. Now, the same goes if you're selling t-shirts or anything else. You'll always want to have a pulse on what's trending and what people are currently purchasing. This is going to help you create designs that are even stronger. I wanted to add the element of the mountain with the sun to really bring home this concept that faith can move mountains. And this is just a little design element which really helps make message card and design even stronger. The reason I personally love KITTL, like I've mentioned, is the fact that it enables me to have access to a plethora of design templates, as you can see here. Now, you can use it for t-shirts, you can use it to create posters. I mean, the sky's the limit here. It enables you to have access to all these different designs that then you can go back and change accordingly. In this case, I kind of created my own design from scratch. You could also pick a template and change it accordingly depending on what it is you're trying to sell. All right, guys. Well, I hope this was helpful. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this tutorial useful. If you have any questions, make sure to add them in the comment section as I do my very best to reply to everyone. Bye, guys. See you next time.